nice, man. That looks so cool. So cool. I think the proportions are great. The details are awesome. Love the badge here. It's actually the same. Should be red because it's an R. Actually has a red gear inside. The shifter, which is exactly like mine, and this is one detail that is special on mine, so this is how you know it's made of my car. It's perfect. Has exhaust on the exact same place, diffusers. So cool. I feel like Ken Block because they always do his cars, but I never imagined that I'll ever see my car, my car in Lego form. That's crazy.
So I've seen you've been very happy and pleasantly surprised by the model that I
it looks
made.
great.
I used a lot of small panels to get the shaping as right and as accurate as possible to the original, and I'm really happy with, like, for example, how the rear the lights are made here using these bricks that are like slightly slanted, and of course the front with the aggressive front, the tilted section and everything.
It looks very similar.
And lastly, I made my own 3D printed wheels here, which allowed me to put brake discs. The front ones are bigger than the small ones, as in the real thing.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't notice that at first.
Yes. You instantly notice the red shifting handle. And of course, we have a handbrake here. And the two seats are very detailed. I used a combination of Technic and normal studded bricks to get basically the shaping just about right. When you steer the wheels, also the steering wheel steers.
I see it.
And the model also has suspension in the front and in the rear. Front and rear, independent. So each wheel is suspended independently. We can open the doors, as already shown, and of course the hood. And under the hood we have a proper V8 engine, and you can activate it here using the controller, so you can see all the 8 pistons moving in and out.
That's so cool. That's my favorite detail.
Yes.
So far.
And also I put the air filter here.
Nice.
And a few other details. And right under the engine, front and under the engine, is the BuWizz 3.0 Pro, which is the product that basically everything is based around. And its job is to control all the functions, and we are using a PlayStation 5 controller connected to the phone, and that is controlling the model. We can open the trunk, and of course safety first. We have a fire extinguisher. Oh, and of course lastly we also have working lights here in front. And this is the most functions I managed to fit in such a small model so far. And yes, I think we all agreed it came out really great.
Yeah, it looks great. And how fast does it go then?
Well, we're gonna figure this out. We reached 13 kilometers an hour, but I think we can go faster. So yeah, we reached the top speed of 13.7 kilometers an hour. And this is 1 to 12 scale, so the real one would be like, this is like 150 if it was 12 times bigger, I guess.
Now you can sit in the car you designed.
Yeah, it doesn't go the other way, unfortunately. We couldn't fit in that one, so we're gonna fit in yours. And yes, it looks very nice. the red shifter.
Yeah.
And the red engine start-stop button. I assume it has quite a short clutch.
Yeah, very short. It's not too hard, so it's good for driving, but the car is very raw to drive, so you have to get used to it. We will warm it up first, and then we'll do some pulls, so you'll see the true raw power from Shelby.
Yeah.
What was the most difficult thing to design of this car?
Well, because I set myself to make a 1:12 scale, I had to fit a lot of things into the small packaging. The most problems was with the rear suspension, actually. Because the car is so small and narrow, I had problems getting the suspension to work to get power to the wheels.
Okay.
So I made the whole motors and the rear wheels as part of the suspension, so the whole motor actually tilts with the suspension. And basically also getting all the things in the front, the fake engine, the V8, the steering motor, the BuWizz control unit, everything in the front was also a big challenge, but after a few revisions I managed to get everything inside.
When you see the finished product, it looks very cool, but I think most people won't realize how much work and trial and error there is, how many hours there is until this model comes to life.
Yes, and that is when I'm designing the models, I always first make a digital version, because in the digital you can always play with different combinations, and for me personally, it takes much less time to digitally assemble and try different things than physically. And over the years, I had enough experience to know that what works in real life and what doesn't. Because in digital, you can also do something that's impossible in real life. You know.
Yeah.
So you have to have a bit of experience. And once I'm good enough with digital, I'm like 90% sure that this is gonna work. I go and order parts and then do the physical version.
Yeah.
Usually, the physical also doesn't translate perfectly. There's always some things I can also improve when building the physical thing.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a back and forth process, and then I usually end up with a most optimized version, let's say like that.
How many hours or days or months have you spent until the finished product?
The whole project was, I think, around 3 months. I needed like a few weeks or a month to get the digital version far enough to be complete enough to order the parts.
Yeah.
And then it took like a month or month and a half, let's say, to build the physical thing, to test it, to fix a few things, test it again, you know, to have it done so it's nice, good looking, robust and reliable.
Yeah. It's even more special, I think, at the end when people know, or when I know how much effort went into such a small piece of car.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really amazing.
Thank you. And of course, the real car is also very amazing.
Yeah, it's very nice to drive. Yeah, I like it so much. I plan on never selling it, so let's do a pull for the boys, and you can feel the horsepower. You can actually feel what you have been working on in Lego form.
Yeah, this is great.
This is now the real deal.
We cannot take a spin in our model.
Yeah.
Manual gearbox, huh? A real car, not the usual US automatic and so on.
That is true. This is a manual car, and the Shelby GT350, they only came in manual. So the 350s are only manual, and the GT500s are only automatic.
Okay.
That's also why I chose this one, because it's a manual.
Yeah, of course, it's understandable. Yeah. How many horses?
This is 526 horsepower.
Okay.
And it's naturally aspirated engine, so no turbos.
What's the engine size?
This is the 5.2 liter V8.
So it's about 100 horsepower per liter.
Yeah, pretty much. This is, in my opinion, the true horsepower, the raw muscle, you know? And I really like it. Also, what you get from the naturally aspirated engines is that the engine can rev way higher.
Yeah.
So the noise is in my opinion, way better. This is a very special car, and when they started developing this car, they basically benchmarked the V8 engine from 458 Ferrari, which is also a V8 naturally aspirated high revving engine, and they wanted to do, because in history we all know that Mustangs were made for straight driving, not so much for the corners. And that's what they wanted to change with this car. So they wanted great handling, light engine, high revving engine, and this is what they developed. And this is why this is the only car that has the 5.2 liter naturally aspirated engine. So this is the only Mustang that gets it, because the regular ones, they have 5.0, so 5 liter V8 engine. It doesn't rev so high, and the GT500s, they're not naturally aspirated. They are supercharged.
Not turbocharged, but supercharged.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is currently still the most powerful naturally aspirated car that Ford produces until today.
Do you know how many were made? What's the production number?
So there were 2 models, the GT350 and the GT350R. This is an R, because it has a few more bits and pieces. We'll take a look at that later, what makes a difference, but the Rs were way more limited. So they produced around 15 to 20,000 regular ones, so GT350s, and around 4,500 to 5,000 pieces are Rs. And what's even more special is that they were only sold in USA and Canada.
Okay, so
and
they
that
were
was
not made for European market?
No. Even if you wanted to buy it in Europe, you couldn't do it. So that's why I decided, because I really, when I saw this car when it launched, I fell in love immediately. And I said to myself, I have to have this car. And then, we figure out a way to bring this car here.
That's probably an interesting story. I mean, because it was not sold in Europe, it was not so trivial to.
It's also
you have to legalize it, right? And
everything,
and everything.
Bring it here, go through emissions, make some modifications so the lights meet the standards. Well, thankfully this car is a bit more modern, so you can just switch from kilometers to miles.
It's digital,
because it's digital.
And I see the speedometer already has also the kilometers.
It has both numbers, so this helped a lot. So it was quite a procedure. It took me, I think, 4 to 5 months to legalize the car here, because when I brought it, this was the first one in Slovenia.
I see.
So they were like, we don't know what this car is.
We don't know what to do.
What should we write?
We don't have it in our list of,
it was not
cars.
in the system.
So yours is the only one in Slovenia?
Not anymore. Mine was the first one, but then like a half year later, another one came. So currently there are only 2 GT350Rs in Slovenia, which is a lot, because I think in the whole Europe there might be, I think, 30 to 50 cars.
Alright. It pulls, and this is uphill.
It's a true muscle,
it's a race car, right?
It's a race car for the road.
But it can
this one can actually go into corners.
Like you mentioned before, not like the muscle cars in the 60s, which could only do the straight pull.
Alrighty.
manual gearbox, right? Where you control everything.
Yeah, this is why I like it.
This, do you have to do the
rev matching?
Yeah, or is it
Yeah,
automatic?
everything manual.
We are here at AMZS, right?
We are on the closed track
this is
today.
a closed track,
Yeah,
and this
yeah,
is
yeah.
reserved just for us, right? So
Yeah,
because
it's
this car
perfect.
is high performance.
Yeah.
You have to follow the
You still have to
the
follow
road rules,
the road
right?
rules. Maybe let's now step out of the car
Yeah,
and
sure.
check all the details that make this car an R.
Yes. It's not just a Mustang, it's a Shelby GT350, right?
Yep.
And then it's
exactly.
not just the Shelby GT350, it's the R model, right?
Exactly. So the regular Mustang gets the 5-liter V8 engine, and this one gets the 5.2-liter V8 engine. So it's a bit bigger, a bit more powerful. This car is 4 centimeters wider from the standard Mustang. So even the car's presence is more aggressive.
I see.
So
I see.
the hood is different, the bumper is different, these flares are different. This is the regular Mustang, this is Shelby. Because the regulars are flat here.
I see, so practically all body panels are different. So I guess this is also the difference, right?
Yeah.
Because the lights are the same and this is the...
This is how much wider it is.
I see. Yeah, and also in the back, right?
Exactly. Only the R's will get red stripes and the red badging.
I see.
This is the first thing. Then the R will get a much more aggressive front splitter. And what's the most special on this car are the wheels.
I see.
These wheels are carbon fiber, and this is This is
I was not aware of this.
Yeah, this is the first production car that was fitted from the factory with carbon wheels.
I see.
So it's also like a historic moment for automakers, and this is what makes it special. The R's will get this way bigger spoiler, and this is also carbon fiber. This is R part only.
I see.
Ours will get red brakes.
Brake calipers.
The normal ones will get silver ones or something like that. And then on the interior, because it's an R, we get red stitching and red details on the inside.
So all the red details are reserved for the R model.
Exactly. And there is one more thing that it's not visible from the outside, but the R was basically meant for like a more track-oriented version of this car. So they made the exhaust also a bit more track-oriented. So from the factory, this car doesn't have the mid-silencer. So it's even louder than the standard GT350. What else? The regular Mustang.
All the 350s are without the back seats?
Oh yeah, that's what I forgot. The regular GT350s, they will have seats in the back.
Okay.
But ours, they don't have it. Because they wanted to make the car as light as possible. So also, it's a fun fact. I don't know, the GT350s were, I don't know, $5,000 cheaper, and you got as a base model, you got the climate control, the navigation system in the cheaper car, and then in the R you got nothing. So even there was no AC in the car, so no climate control, no navigation system. This was all an option. But I'm glad this one has it, because in the summertime you really want the climate control, and when you go somewhere it's really nice to have navigation.
Yeah, but the reason for all this is not to save cost but to save weight, right?
Exactly.
Thank you, Rok, for the nice presentation. And we'll do something similar in the future again,
Yeah, let's do it.